To begin today's end of life celebration, I'll just ask that you ensure your mobile phones are switched off or just turned to silent for the duration of the service. On behalf of Water Range Funerals, I extend a warm welcome to all of those here today to share in celebrating the life of the late, dearly missed and very much loved Stephanie Lee Bell. I understand that some of you have travelled incredibly long distances to be present at today's end of life service, and for your efforts today, I wish to thank you. Some people, unfortunately, could not be physically present with us today for the service, however, have joined us through virtual means through the use of live stream. I extend a sincere thank you on behalf of the extended Bell family to those that have shared their condolences and provided their vows of support to those who are closest to Stephanie during this incredibly difficult time of loss. As a collective, we will keep those closest to Stephanie in our thoughts over the coming weeks, months and years. Navigating the complexities of a life without Stephanie in it will be challenging, but knowing there is a great support system around you to grieve with is comforting. Welcome all to the celebration of the life of Mrs. Stephanie Bell. My name is Jade Martin, and it is with the utmost honour that I introduce myself as the celebrant for today's end-of-life celebration. To be asked and invited to curate an end-of-life celebration is the greatest honour and blessing a family can provide you, and for that I'm very grateful. To Jeff, thank you for allowing me to represent the family today. Stephanie Bell, an easy person to love, but an almost impossible person to summarise. How can you even begin to describe someone so incredible, caring and kind? A couple of words cannot do justice to the lengths of just how incredible she was. Stephanie was a loving wife, a caring mother, a beautiful stepmother, and a loving nana. Whatever Stephanie did, she did it in the best way possible. She was such a caring person and never went out of her way to hurt anyone. Simply put, she was magnificent. To begin with, Stephanie was vibrant, colourful and fun. She was the life of the party when she walked into a room and was so enjoyable to be around. Stephanie was a people person who loved chatting and conversing with others. She was always up for a talk and spent her years making great friendships with those around her. Stephanie was completely and utterly selfless. Even in the depths of her illness and fight for survival, she was only concerned about others, constantly asking, "Are you okay?" or "How are you doing?" rather than worrying about herself. Stephanie was always concerned about others and their happiness rather than her own. What a beautiful person Stephanie was, to be going through the fight of her life, yet being worried about everybody else. Stephanie had a great sense of humour, and as Jeff has mentioned to me, she really had to in order to be able to put up with Jeff's sense of humour. Many great years spent together, filled with love and laughter. Stephanie spent her younger years in Kingston before making a big move to the big town of Adelaide. It was there that she had her two children, Scott and Amanda, whom she loved very much. From Adelaide, a move to Alice Springs would see her further her career and eventually meet her soulmate, Jeff. Jeff and Stephanie had a soul connection and a deep affection for each other. Their relationship started off as a friendship, having met through work, and eventually they felt the spark between them and let love blossom. They laughed together, bounced ideas off each other, and had the same beliefs in life. After a few years, the two married in a small ceremony service in Alice Springs, 1995. After marrying Jeff, Stephanie became the proud stepmother of Kylie, Amanda, and Aaron. Stephanie was a loving nana to Miller, Alex, Callan, Grace, Baden, Alyssa, and Henry. She loved her grandchildren so much, but was unable to see them as much as she could. Stephanie loved her AFL and was an avid supporter of the Adelaide Crows and Geelong Cats. She did also like to watch Masters baseball and had a club level involvement whilst Jeff played, and she worked in the canteen. When she did drink, Stephanie loved a good scotch and Diet Coke. Stephanie loved her ice cream, and even after the intolerances made her unable to eat the things she loved, there was always an exception for ice cream. Stephanie and Jeff loved to travel when they could, and during their relationship were able to spend quality time together, caravanning to various locations in Australia. Their longest stint in caravan was a 3 to 4 month trip, in which they had great fun and made some incredible memories. Over their time together, they did various holidays, which saw them travel to Perth, Tasmania, Darwin, and Broome. Over her life, Stephanie had the love and prayers of the congregants of the Mariba Baptist Church and in later years the Tolga Community Church. Stephanie has been prayerfully supported for many years by many friends and colleagues scattered throughout Australia and the world. As we all know, Stephanie was a fighter. Her initial diagnosis back in 1994 was only the beginning of the battles she would be faced with in time. As always, Stephanie handled every setback and challenge with integrity, determination, and the will to fight. Stephanie was determined to fight against her illness every single time. Stephanie undertook 2 partial mastectomies on one breast and lymph node treatment in her earlier years, and later in life underwent countless sessions of treatment to keep fighting. Stephanie will always be remembered as a warrior who had the strength to battle every single time, and whose strength will be remembered and spoken about in the years to come. Stephanie's bravery and strength was a true inspiration to all of those in her life. Stephanie was the epitome of a warrior. May we remember with love Stephanie's life, be reminded of her warm nature and kind heart. Although Stephanie is not with us physically, she is all around us. In every waking moment, every sleepless night, and every fun-filled day, she will be there. Watching over us, walking beside us, she will be inside our hearts and within our memories forever. Allow yourselves to grieve the loss of Stephanie from your lives, and shed a tear when the pain of missing Stephanie becomes too much to bear. However, don't forget to smile when you rejoice in the delight and warmth of her memory. Remember how she made you feel, and never forget the special memories made with her. A life that touches others goes on forever. The following is a poem titled Missing You, written by an unknown author, which I think beautifully encapsulates the thoughts and feelings of having lost Stephanie from our lives. No words I write can ever say how much I miss you every day. As time goes by, the loneliness grows. How I miss you, nobody knows. I think of you in silence. I often speak your name, but all I have are memories and photos in a frame. No one knows my sorrow, no one sees me weep, but the love I have for you is in my heart to keep. I've never stopped loving you, I'm sure I never will. Deep inside my heart, you are with me still. Heartaches in this world are many, but mine is worse than any. My heart still aches as I whisper low, I need you, and I miss you so. The things we feel so deeply are often the hardest to say, but I just can't keep quiet anymore, so I'll tell you anyway. There's a place in my heart that no one else can fill. I love you so much, and I always will. I'd now like to invite forward Jeff's daughter Kylie to share some thoughts and words about Jeff, Scott and Amanda's time with Stephanie.
My dad has written a few words that he'd like me to read out. I temporarily lost the love of my life, the my soulmate. I know I'll be reunited with Stephanie and him when my course has been run and the Lord calls me home as well. I will miss her terribly, and will see her in everything I do, as well as all the photos of her around our home and the memories that have been accumulated over 31 years of knowing one, 28 of which we were married to each other. Thank you to all who have supported me during this time with prayer and fellowship. But I know that grief is being replaced with joy, as Stephanie, who is now residing in heaven, is in a far better place and is at peace. Scott and Amanda have put a few words together as well that I'd like me to read out. We will always miss Mum, but we will be able to smile when we think of her laughter and her love for her family. We will also find peace knowing that she is now pain-free and no doubt having a drink and lots of laughs with Anne and Pup from her beloved children and grandchildren. We will miss you and we love you always.
I'd now like to invite forward Denise Richardson, Mark Moffat and Stephen Ryan, Stephanie's close lifelong friends, to partake in reading some thoughts and words that will contribute towards Stephanie's eulogy.
Hello to everyone here. Hope some of you remember me from school days, as I see so many familiar faces. All of us here to celebrate the life of Stephanie Bell. As most of us know here, Stephanie was a Kingston girl, growing up here with her parents Bert and Jean and her brother Peter. Bert ran the electricity for Kingston all those years ago, and I remember going over to their house, which was frequent, going out to the back to the huge shed where all the machines were running. Many fond memories with Stephanie were made at her house, to the point of Stephanie asking her parents to adopt me. I moved from Narra Court to Kingston, which is where I met Stephanie. We became schoolmates, but quickly learned that our friendship was much, much more. And it was, as we remained friends throughout our lives. School days were filled with so many memories, a lot with Mark and Stephen, like the time we blew up our Christmas pudding in the pressure cooker, Miss Taylor running out of her office to the four of us in hysterics. Julie Cabbage, as we nicknamed her, my nickname Little Beans, my sister Lynn Big Beans, Sandra, too many to mention by name, but we were all great school buddies. Steph and I played netball together, both entered the Miss Kingston showgirl, which she was crowned. She was just so beautiful, always her smile and laughter would light up the room in your heart. We would go watch the boys' band practice, Mark on guitar, Stephen on drums, which they formed the band Axis, and the original band played at our last school reunion. Stephanie's first job was at the Telecom Exchange, answering, "Operator please, what number?" When visiting her at work, I would often wonder how she knew where to put all those leads to plug in. We both moved from Kingston, me to Murray Bridge to do my nursing, and Steph to Adelaide, then to Alice Springs, by this time having her two children, Scott and Amanda. After some time, she then met Jeff, her darling Jeff, as she always called him, and they married. Through all the years we kept in contact. She always was just so happy, having met the love of her life, she would say. Jeff was not just a husband, as Stephanie not just a wife. They were best friends, soulmates, companions, and inseparable. Sadly, at the young age, Stephanie began her battle with Big C. Through the beginning to the end, Jeff was always by her side. She fought hard and long. She was such an inspiration. Her strength and will never wavered. She left me in complete awe at times of how she would battle this horrid disease, but through it all she would still laugh, do all she could, pick herself back up, put on those fighting boots as we called them, and then just say how lucky she was to have the life she had with Jeff. Stephanie was through all she battled the most caring, compassionate human I was so blessed to know and have in my life. Always worried through what she battled, worried about Jeff, her family, myself, her friends, anyone who had illness or strife. She became close to my daughter Nicole and my granddaughter Mia, who adored her. They often spoke, and there were always little things coming in the post with them, just because that's who Stephanie was. She was and always will be an inspiration to me. Her strength and faith never left her, her fight endless. On a more personal level, I want to say these words. You have friends in your life, many. but only that one special friend. Stephanie was my unique friend, bonded not just by love but in each other's hearts. So much we knew each other so completely through all the years of us living miles apart. We may not speak for a while, but when we did, the conversation just flowed from the last. Sometimes we would talk for hours. We would joke, laugh, cry, talk of school days and all of our memories of the lives we shared, pick up each other if we were down, and always end in the conversation, I love you. I could have not asked, been more blessed or grateful to have picked a better person to be my most treasured lifetime friend. Sister's not my blood, but unconditional love and an unfounding bond. I believe in my heart you knew when to ask me to come up. I believe God got me to be there at the right time. You held on till I got there, enough for us to hug, cry, and just look into each other's eyes. No words to be said, just the look of love for each other. It was what we both knew. I kissed your forehead every day, told you how much you were loved and what you meant to me. You didn't want to go, I know. Most of all, you didn't want to leave your beloved Jeff. Your love for each other was endless. Your devotion and faith gave you so much strength. A marriage like yours was just simply so beautiful. So you were an angel, as you were an angel on this earth to me and many. You are now an angel in heaven and at peace. No more pain and with the Lord. I will miss you. You will always be a part of me. And I was so blessed and privileged and grateful to have had you in my life all these years. So fly high with the angels until we meet again, always and forever, my beautiful, amazing friend.
Well, my name's Steve. I've known Stephanie for a long time. We went to primary school and high school together, and we're very good friends. I remember many times with Stephanie. She was such a kind, loving person, and was always there for her friends. When we first started up the Axis band, I remember Stephanie would come along and listen to us practice in my parents' home at the time. Very loud it was. She'd sit on the bed and just listen to us play. She loved her music. Later, when Stephanie left school, she got a job working at the telephone exchange, which we, her friends, all thought was great. If you remember back then, when you rang, you called, the telephones would sometimes say, right, 3 minutes, are you extending? Are you extending your call? If we had Stephanie on as your telephonist, you would definitely get an extension on those 3 minutes and be able to talk for a long time. Some years passed before I saw Stephanie again. In 2017, I was lucky enough to catch up with her and Jeff. They were travelling around in their caravan and found themselves in Mount Gambier. Myself, my wife, Marcus, Stephanie and Jeff all ended up having tea together, and there was no time had passed at all. Stephanie was still the girl I remembered, all smiles, and eager to share stories about her life. We kept in regular contact after that visit, and only this year in August we travelled to Cairns and caught up with Stephanie and Jeff again. It was great to see them both. However, at the time we did not realise that this would be the last time we'd get to see Stephanie. Stephanie fought strongly for many years and was always hopeful of beating her cancer with the love and support of her husband Jeff, her family and friends. Stephanie will always be remembered as a dear and much loved friend.
My name is Mark. I've known Steph for nearly 63 years, coming up probably the next school year. We started school together in grade 1, 1961, and we could always remember what grade we were in by the years. It was grade 1, 1961, grade 2, 1962. And as Steve and Denise said, we were in every class together until leaving school in 4th year high school in 1971. But it wasn't probably until grade 7 in 1967 that we actually sat together. And you probably remember the old wooden desk with them, fill that in, and then fill that in, and the bench seat, and at the end of the day you have to fold it down. But anyway, we sat together. This is probably when we first really connected, because we found we had the same, maybe sixth sense of humour, and we mucked around so much and disrupted the class. The teacher had to separate us. Now, I don't know if I was a bad influence on her, or she was on me, or both on each other. But yeah, and that's probably when we really connected. But there was never ever any romantic connection. We just clicked as friends, like Stephen and Denise. Now, one of the last messages that Stephanie sent was she referred to me as her darling, silly friend. I remember when we did sit together, we found it hilarious, and the rest of the class didn't think so, but we were drawing two unrelated cars together, and we said we'd drive these cars. For example, she had a GT Morris Minor, and I had an FJ Datsun. I mean, obviously they go together. But we just thought it was so funny, and years later when we reconnected, Jeff and Steph had bought a caravan and a car to tow it, and I said, "What sort of car?" And she said, "The Triple S Morris Minor." And I said, "I'm actually driving the GTS Zephyr at the moment." So we thought it was very funny, and well, I didn't know. Everyone else did, but now at the end of our school year in fourth year high school, I don't know how it came about, but the teachers asked Stephen and myself to go down on a Friday afternoon to look after the grade ones. And we found this really funny, because what we do, we'd go down to their level and just be big kids ourselves, and we'd take them out in the oval and read them stories and just do lots of silly things. But yeah, we got a lot of fun out of that. Stephanie moved away from Kingston when she got married, and I moved to Mount Gambier when I got married, and we sort of lost contact for a number of years. You had children and married life and just day-to-day things. But we reconnected about 25 years ago. And I think maybe a couple of times Steph and Jeff might have come to Kingston and Mount Gambier, and Steve said we caught up for a meal. Maybe that's more recent years. But in the last 10 years, we probably had regular contact. She'd either ring me, or I'd call her maybe every 4 to 5 weeks. But then I think at that stage she'd had one bout of cancer and maybe thought that she was okay. But as time went on, we found out to be different. And she shared her journey with all of us, and was so brave in a fight like we've heard. But all the times through her battle, her concern was leaving behind her much loved husband Jeff and her 3 beautiful children. And it really showed how Steph was such a beautiful, selfless person, because she seemed to be more concerned with other people more than herself. So today we say goodbye to Steph, and to me, a dear life. A dear lifelong friend. Oh, almost. Through this, I will always treasure my friendship with Steph and the success of humour. Thank you.
Stephanie, we are gathered here today in your name, in your love, and in your spirit. We are here to remember and commemorate your love and life, and celebrate the incredible times shared together. We will rejoice for the fulfilling life you have lived, sharing your light and happiness with us all over the years. We recognise the hardships and battles Stephanie faced in her time on earth, and remember with love her strength, and determination to fight. We will miss Stephanie's love, but will relish in her memory. May the pain and sorrow we feel today be turned into acceptance of her death and gratitude for her life. Let us find the strength to continue on in this life, to live our lives to the fullest, with Stephanie walking beside us every day and her memory living on in our hearts for years to come. Today we recognise that Stephanie's soul and spirit will leave us here on earth for an eternal life with her Lord and Saviour, Jesus Christ. We recognise that Stephanie is to be reunited with Christ in his kingdom of heaven forever. With the utmost love, tender warmth and care, we respectfully commit the body of Stephanie back to the earth and her soul to a more peaceful place where she may rest with the love of Christ forever. Rest in eternal peace, Stephanie Marie Bell. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. On behalf of Jeff, I'd like to take this time to extend a heartfelt thank you to all of the healthcare staff that aided in the provision of Stephanie's care and treatment over the years. It is always difficult seeing your loved one unwell and in decline, but to know they are being looked after well and with love is reassuring. To all of the nurses, doctors and oncologists that assisted Stephanie over the years, we thank you. For those of you here today or with us via live stream, those closest to Stephanie invite and encourage you to make a donation to the Cancer Council in honour of Stephanie's life. The Cancer Council provides many services and support to those battling cancer and their families, and any donations are greatly appreciated. On behalf of Wattle Range Funerals and the extended Bell family, I'd like to thank you all for your attendance at today's end-of-life celebration. Jeff, along with Stephanie's close friends, would like to invite all of those here today to continue the celebration of Stephanie's life at the Lassie Peak Pub in Kingston. There you'll share in light refreshments, nibbles, hugs and shared stories in memory of Stephanie. Prior to leaving today's end-of-life celebration, you are all invited to collect a small handful of flower petals to place upon Stephanie's coffin to leave her with a parting gift and vow of sympathy. I do ask that you reserve first preference to the family in doing so. Our brief partings on earth will appear one day as nothing beside the joy of eternity together. I now ask that you all please stand. Go in love. Let Stephanie live on in your hearts forever. Thank you.